What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our NFL power rankings heading into week 7. Unfortunately, Ethan's been super busy this week, so he won't be able to do this video. And we're making it on Friday. So the Browns won last week, so you won't see that in this week's power rankings, but we'll just get right into it. Coming in at 32nd, you got the Lions, the last 0-6 team in the league after the Jacksonville Jaguars won last week. Pretty terrible performance against the Bengals, and it's not going to get any better as this week they face the Rams, and we'll see how Goff performs against his former team. Coming in at 31st, you got the Giants. Daniel Jones looked really good at the beginning of the year, and since then it's kind of been downhill, and Saquon has been ruled out for this game. The Giants have been hit with an injury bug this year, and hopefully maybe for the second half of the season, they'll get everyone back and be able to put some wins up. At 30th, we got the Houston Texans, got blown out by another one-win team last week, the Colts. Not much to be said except Deshaun Watson rumors. Those are heating up just because trade deadline's coming in a little over a week. And this week they get to go against the 6-0 Cardinals, and it's not looking good as this team looks like they're going to be heading to 1-6. 29th, you got the Dolphins, who gave the Jacksonville Jaguars their first win in London last week. And it'll be an interesting game when they play the Falcons. Both teams, under 500, but looking for a win. At 28th, we were just talking about the Jaguars with that win in London. And Trevor Lawrence has started to play better than his first 4 games. In his last 3, he's done really well. Or last 2, he's done really well. And this week they have a bye as they look forward to, getting things right and developing their young guys. 27th, we got the Jets, didn't move. Last week they had a bye, so they got to, rest up. Hopefully figure some things out as they're 1-4 heading into a big game against the Patriots for the Patriots as they look to pull the spoiler this week. 26th, you get the Washington football team. This team looked like they had the Chiefs on their heels in the first half, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared and pretty much got blown out by the Chiefs. But not an easy matchup this week as they go into Green Bay. And so much for being the best defense in the league as they rank one of the worst defenses in the league so far. At 25th, we got the Falcons, who had a bye last week. And as I was saying earlier, the Dolphins game, it's pretty much a battle of the under 500s. And, this was a much bigger game for the Falcons than is the Dolphins, because Falcons win this, they're 3-3. And the NFC South right now is kind of up in the air besides Tampa. But, if you start getting close to 500 or a little over 500, you're a potential playoff team. And this is a game that the Falcons have to win. 24th. As of right now, as this video is being made, this is my sleeper team for the rest of the year. If this team can stay healthy, I don't see any doubt in my mind that the Colts will make it as a wild card team. Probably not the division, just because the Titans will probably take that one. But I could see this team making a run in the playoffs and being a wild card team. And to do that, you got to beat teams like the 49ers this week, who are also trying to do the same and be a wild card team and squeak in there. At 23rd, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Last night on Thursday Night Football, tough loss to the Bucs as they were coming back, but they just couldn't get one more drive. And now they go into Las Vegas, play the Raiders. And, I don't really know what to say about this Eagles team so far. There's lots of promise with Hurts and the receivers, Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins have been looking great, but they just need to get the ball in Miles Sanders' hands more, mostly for my fantasy team. And also he's a big difference maker in that offense. 22nd, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Losing Russ pretty much derailed this team's chances of going in the playoffs, as they still almost squeaked one out against Pittsburgh last week. Geno played pretty dismal, and it was just an ugly game really to watch. But now it's a Week 7 battle versus the Saints, and it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. 21st, we got the Aaron Rodgers-owned Chicago Bears. After that performance last week, Rodgers claims that he owns them, and now he's a part owner of the Chicago Bears. And this Bears team has looked pretty good at sometimes and then not too well at others. But Fields has definitely been the guy that they need to start at quarterback, as Matt Nagy is starting to get nervous as he's consistently been on the hot seat. But if they don't make the playoffs this year, he's out. 20th, we got Ethan's Steelers. Big win if you're a Steelers fan, just because things haven't been going well through 6 games, and a much needed bye for this Steelers team, just to get things right. And if you're a Steelers fan right now, I think 3-3 is a fair record for you. Could have won another game, could have lost some other games. Got lucky with that first game of the year, the Bills. Bills look unstoppable, but a much needed bye this week. 19th, we got the Carolina Panthers. What in the world is wrong with this team? 3-0 and 0-3 now. And so they're 3-3. But they got the Giants this week as they look to get back into the win column. 18th, we got the 3-4 Broncos now after last night's loss to the Browns on Thursday Night Football. And they also lost last week to Vegas. It's just been interesting to watch this team just kind of slowly start trending downhill as they won their first 3, against the 3 worst teams in the league pretty much at the time. And now they've lost 4 in a row to teams that are average, a little better than that. But this Broncos team is trending in the wrong direction. Patriots, great game against Dallas. They unfortunately just didn't get the ball in overtime, I believe they did. I didn't get to catch that part. But either way, they made it a game. I thought it wouldn't have been a close game, just because Dallas and their offense, but made it a game, and I think they'll get back in the win column this week against the Jets. Halfway through, we got the 49ers. Dropped one just because they didn't play last week, and a few teams moved up. But big game this week against the Colts. Garoppolo is probably going to play, with Lance is officially out, and that's some big news. But whoever wins this game is pretty much going to decide how your season goes as well. Colts, would be 3-4, and 49ers would be 3-3 in a Seattle-less division. Big game for these 49ers. Vikings, kind of a team that people were like, no way, this team is already 0-2, 0-3, I believe, and then they're on at least a 2-game win streak here after an overtime victory against Carolina. Heading into the bye week, get Dalvin Cook rested up after he came back last week, limited snaps, but hopefully week 8 he'll be good to go, take the full workload, and go from there. 14th, we got the 4-3 Browns. Squeaked one out last night against Denver, but in that week 6 game, got blown out by Arizona. Hunt got hurt. He's on IR for hopefully 3 weeks, but could be up to 6. And Chubb didn't play this week against Broncos, but he'll be back week 8. And who knows how long Baker's going to be out, but Case Keenum looked like he can lead this team, and just, got to find ways to win. 13th, we got the Saints going against the Seahawks. Big game for these Saints here. If they go to 4-2, putting some pressure on Tampa, because they got to keep winning too. But if they lose this one here and Tampa wins next week, they're going to have I believe, 3-game lead already in the division, and that's not a good sign. Coming in at 12th, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. 4-2, going against the Eagles this week. I expect another win. 5-2, 2-0 without John Gruden. And, Derek Carr has kind of looked like a top 10 quarterback this year at times, but he's got some more weapons now. He's finally using Henry Ruggs' speed. Josh Jacobs, when healthy, great back. And it's just going to come down to how the defense plays, because I think the Raiders, they can put up at least 24 a game. It's just going to come down to if their defense can hold them. 11th, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. Yikes. Last week was a terrible game. Nobody played well. And because of that, my fantasy team lost because I have almost Herbert in every league. But they got a much needed bye this week. But they also have to think about it even longer just because, it's going to be stemming up. So hopefully whoever they play week 8, I expect a big game out of them just because they're going to be mad. And at 10th, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going against the Titans. Big game this week for both teams. It's kind of hard to pick here, but this Chiefs team, if they don't turn the ball over, they're still the same old Chiefs team that they've always been. Doesn't matter, their defense has been a little shaky at times, but this Chiefs team and the Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, Darrell Williams even now with Edwards-Helaire out, they're still an explosive team. And it's just, you can't put them lower than 10th, I feel like. 9th, you got the Tennessee Titans after a huge win against Buffalo on Monday night. And it's only fair to put the Titans ahead of the Chiefs here just because, the record-wise. But, I was talking big game, and whoever wins this game is for sure going to be moving up in our power rankings. At 8th, we got the Bengals. Blowout victory last week against Detroit. And now they got a tough task to go against Lamar in Baltimore. And whoever wins this game, I believe, will be in first place of the AFC North. And this is a prove-it game, for the Bengals, if they belong this year, if they're pretenders or contenders. And I think this Bengals team could pull off the upset, but it's just going to come down to if they can run the ball. Because, Burrow with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, even the tight end C.J. Uzma, I believe, there's some pretty good weapons there. But if Mixon can get it going on the ground, this Bengals team could pull off the upset. 7th, you got the Cowboys moving up one just because of a few things that happened this week, the Chargers moving down. But an overtime victory, a little scare there for Dallas, but they survived it, got through, and they're heading into a bye this week. At 6th, you got the Packers with the win over Chicago last week. They got Washington this week at home. I expect another win there. And this team, 6-0 since that huge blowout victory, I would say, since week 1. And no signs of slowing down for this Packers team, as a lot of people have said, not just me because I'm a Packers fan, but a lot of people on TV have been saying, this team hasn't even hit their stride yet. It'll be scary to see once they do. 5th, you got the Buffalo Bills. Risky call going for it there on 4th down, 4th and inches. Josh Allen slips, doesn't get the first down. He gets the first down, they score. Could be a whole different game, 5-1 team. But they're heading into a bye week as well this week. And I expect this team to come out firing on all cylinders week 8. 4th, you got the Los Angeles Rams beating the Giants pretty handily. It was pretty much over heading into the 4th quarter. And, got the Lions this week. Stafford plays his old team, but it's more of Goff when he comes back to LA, and we'll see how that he goes. But Aaron Donald, I bet you, is not going to miss his chance to sack Goff as many times as he can. And I expect a big day from the LA defense. Coming in at 3rd, you got the Tampa Bay Bucks. Win last week against the Eagles, Thursday Night Football. Now they got the Bears this week. I expect a big win there. And this Tampa team is looking pretty scary right now. Tom's playing, potentially best football of his career so far. And all the weapons around him. The defense is great. This Bucks team is for sure looking to repeat his champs. Coming in at 2nd, making a huge jump, you got the Baltimore Ravens. Blowout win, against the Chargers, who were a top 10 team in our power rankings top 5 team in our power rankings last week, and pretty much said, well, you guys are wrong. Bengals this week, big game for the AFC North, and to see if the Ravens, if they win this game, they're going to be 2 games up in that division. So the Ravens and Lamar and company are looking to prove everyone wrong, that he still can't throw, even though I don't know why people are still saying that, as he's one of the best quarterbacks this year. And I expect the Ravens here to win this game. And coming in at first place for, I believe, the third week in a row, you got the Arizona Cardinals. 6-0, big win against Cleveland last week, playing against the Houston Texans this week at home. And I expect another big win there, moving them to 7-0. And, kind of the surprise team and that you would say could be 6-0 right now. A lot of people were thinking the Bucks. A lot of people were thinking the Rams. A lot of people were thinking Bills. Not too many people were thinking the Cardinals here. Just solely because there's people were all high on the Rams at the beginning of the year, but nothing to take away from this Cardinals team is adding J.J. Watt has been a big addition, as you could see, and A.J. Green, and even Rondale Moore in the draft. They really reloaded on offense, got James Conner as well. And they're kind of all in right now, getting Zach Ertz this week from Philly in a trade there. And I believe this Cardinals team is a real contender this year, not just like the Steelers were last year, going 12-0 and then tanking there. But I believe that'll be it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, the Bench Buddies are out.